Hey, gorgeous souls, and welcome to the Neo Self-Care Podcast, where we're spilling the tea on self-love, empowerment, and all things fabulous for our fabulous ladies out there. I'm your host, Vashti Maya, here to sprinkle some glitter on your self-care journey. So whether you're a boss bitch, a go-getter, a mom who's killing it, or just a girl who's vibing with life, this podcast is your weekly dose of empowerment served with a side of sass and a sprinkle of sparkle. Ladies, we're not just about self-care. We're about self-elevation, always reminding you that it's okay to be extra, and it's what makes you uniquely you. So grab your favorite drink, kick back, and let's dive into the world of unapologetic self-love. Tune in every week for a dose of fabulousness, because guess what, lovely? You're worth it. And this is Neo Self-Care, where being yourself is the ultimate act of self-love. Stay fabulous, stay fierce, and always remember to love yourself, because you, my love, are absolutely fabulous. Now let's dive into today's episode. What's going on, and welcome back to another episode of Neo Self-Care. I am your host, Vashti Maya, and I'm excited to be here today. Number one, it is the very last episode of the 2023 year, which I'm so excited about because I'm ready to jump right into 2024, to be honest. But December has been pretty interesting, I would say. There's definitely been a lot of beginnings. There's been a lot of I don't want to say endings, but I'll say closed doors, because there's we're in Mercury retrograde, and so things that you've already closed the door or ended, if there's little bits of it that you haven't completely finished, it's gonna come back around. So I've had my fair share of that as well. But I feel like ultimately I'm very grateful for the fact that I'm here, you're here. We made it through a whole nother year, a whole nother basically 365 days, even though with it being December 26th, but we have 4 or 5 more days left. But still, we made it through a whole nother year. We are successful. We accomplished the things we thought that we didn't or couldn't do, and we're here. So if you haven't already applauded yourself, if you haven't already gave yourself flowers or congratulatories or whatever it is, please take the moment to do so now, because you can say that you made it. A lot of people cannot say that. They are not here to say that, but you are. So please, 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 no matter what, take the time out to celebrate you, okay? And speaking about celebrating you, that's actually what we're going to get into this episode. I know we've been talking all December about reinvention, kind of reinventing yourself, getting yourself to be the person that you desire to be so that you can have a even better 2024. And I feel like that even though we have talked about different things in the invention process, the biggest thing, or one of the biggest things I'd say that I really want you to conceptualize, is bigging yourself up, taking care of you, congratulating you, looking at the things that you went through in life and actually saying, whoa, we did that. You know what I mean? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Making sure that you praise yourself and you speak life into yourself and you have some self-acceptance, because that's what's important. That is what's important at the end of the day. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So you already know I always start by getting real with you first, because I cannot expect y'all to be real with me if I'm not real with you. It ain't mathing, you know? So I have always been the type of person where I did not congratulate myself. I did not celebrate myself. I didn't do anything, because whenever I set a type of goal, it was an expectation that it needed to be met. Now, could I blame that on my Taurus sun, Capricorn moon, Aquarius rising? Maybe. But at the end of the day, it still was this goal, it's done, great, move to the next. I never was oh my God, yay, I did this, blah, blah, blah. I didn't care. And maybe I did somewhere deep down inside, but surface level, I did not, because it was okay, that's what I needed to do. Do you know what I mean? So when I had my first child, there was a period where I was a single parent, and it was just expected to me. Like, it was the normal thing for me to be like, okay, you gotta have a job. You gotta make sure that you, if you need services from like the county or whatever, set that up if your job is not paying enough. Make sure that, your child is good. Make sure you're in a safe environment. These things matter. I kind of put school and stuff in the back burner when I had my child, because it was more about making sure that we had the day-to-day. Excuse me, especially back then, because it was just myself, living in California and stuff, which was hella expensive, but, not really having the family support and other things that other people were blessed to have. It was just like, make it work. And I did, I did. That was my thing. And I was like sitting down by myself one day, just kind of like looking over my life, and I was like, damn, like, I remember living in like a trailer home with random ass strangers, and my child, just hoping that I had like my own place, or hoping that, he didn't have to sleep in the bed with me. Oh, that's somebody's car alarm. I was like, what is that? Hoping that he didn't have to like, not the bed, sleep in a room as me and have his own room. And those were the type of things that I wanted, And in life, those are the type of things that I got it. But to me, I never was like, oh my God, I'm so proud of myself because he finally has his own bedroom, or we finally have an apartment to ourselves, or we finally have a house. And now, instead of having one child, I have two, and a husband. And it was like, I never looked and was like, damn, Vashti, like, you came a long way. That's such a great thing. You came a long way. No, I never looked at myself like that. It was almost like this was expected. This is what you have to do. When I was younger, I used to make straight A's. I was like in 7th grade. I remember I was part of the California Junior Scholarship Federation because I was very serious about my schoolwork. I was very serious about making sure I had everything done. I was very serious about making sure I got all the accolades and any type of high honors that I possibly could get. And then when I received these things, it wasn't like oh my God, I'm so proud of myself. It was well, yeah, this was the goal. The goal is accomplished. Time to move to the next thing. I never celebrated me. I didn't really grow up in a household where we celebrated each other for accomplishments. That was never the thing. Growing up, I love my parents dearly, and I'm grateful for what they were able to do for me on their journey. But at the end of the day, there were still things that I didn't receive. And so for me, I was taught more conditional love rather than unconditional love while growing up. And so it was like, okay, hey, if you do something right, if you do something good, then you'll get praise from it from somebody else. But if it's not up to their standards, if it's not, it didn't matter. And so I think that there's a part of me that kind of internalized that and was just like, well, it doesn't matter anyway. Like, do it for this person to say, oh, great job, I love you, or great job, you're awesome, and then forget about it, or don't do it at all. And that's kind of like what I personally held on to until I had to kind of like just grow out of that. You know what I mean? So I say all that to say, like, you gotta celebrate yourself. But in November was the graduation. August is when I was done. But I completed my bachelor's degree, which right now I am really grateful and thankful and excited about, because let me tell you, it was a 14-year journey because I started college when I was 17. I tested out of high school early. I graduated early, and I went to college at 17. And it took me until I was 31 to get my bachelor's degree. And it was a journey, but there was a moment when I finished it and I was like, great, cool, I'm done, next. Never once saying like, hey, Vashti, like, yo, you got your degree. You were one of the first people in your family to obtain a degree. You're able to secure the type of, job that you're wanting, because there's some jobs that require degrees. You're able to do that now because you have your degree. Not once did I give myself that. I went to, graduation. I didn't want to be excited about it. I didn't want to be like happy about it, though I did invite people who didn't show up, but that was okay, right? So that kind of really just added more to, see, this is why you shouldn't get excited and that. But I was looking at other people. My kids was there, my husband was there, and honestly, that's all I needed now I think about it. But I didn't go back and say, hey, Vashti, good job to myself. I didn't even know how I really felt about it. I was just like, well, it's done. Now I got to do the next thing. But I didn't stop to celebrate me. I didn't stop to be like, hey, that is a great ass thing that you did, because you did it. You succeeded. Hey, the fact that you were not still, single parenting in a freaking mobile home years ago, like, that is a great thing. Great job there. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things in my personal life that when I go back, I'm like, dang, I should really celebrate. I should really, I did such a great job. Like, I did good. You know what I mean? Like, and actually feel good about it and praise it. But no, I don't. Well, I didn't. Now I do. But I don't, I didn't. That wasn't the norm for me. And I'm like, okay, if that wasn't the norm for me, how many other people out there is it not the norm for? So if you are a person where you can celebrate the fact that, hey, you got a freaking certificate. Hey, you got an associate's degree. Hey, you got a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a doctorate degree, a specialist degree, whatever it is. You did it. If you did it, you better stand on that like it is the best thing you ever did in life, because nobody set you down, made you do the work, made you do the reading. Nobody. You did that yourself. And you accomplished it. And it may have been real boring, and it may have been real annoying and real frustrating and aggravating and time consuming and all these other adjectives. But at the end of the day, you did it. So congratulate yourself. Be happy with your accomplishments that you do. Know that you don't need another soul to tell you that they're proud of you for the things that you have gone through in life, the things that you have conquered in life, the things that you are resilient for. You don't need anybody else to give you that validation, to give you that gratification. You have to hold on to that yourself and be like, you know what? I am proud of me because we did this. We did this. And as long as I can continue showing up for myself like this, the more I know that I can be happy. Because see, then now you're generating a happiness that excludes everyone else. Because now you're feeling good at the fact that you did something by yourself. And so now you're showing yourself like, hey, we don't always need other people to put us in the gravitational pull of happiness. We can do this together. Me, myself, and I, the three of us, we're great. You can start taking on that type of mindset and start really accomplishing some things in your life. It starts with, congratulating yourself. So please think back on certain things that you kind of swept under the rug, or the things that you were just like, yeah, well, I have to do that. No, you didn't. Because people choose every day to run away from responsibilities or to run away from any other thing that people will deem as, well, you have to do that. People run away from it all the time. Like, fuck this job and I never go back. They'll be like, fuck these kids and never go back. Or just be like everybody, and then just never show up anymore. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if you're showing up for work, if you're getting out of bed, if you're going through so much depression, anxiety, loneliness, frustration, or whatever. But for a minute, you take the time to show up for yourself. That is something worth praising. That is something worth adoring. That is something worth putting yourself on a high pedestal and saying, I'm proud of you. You did this. We did this together. You and I, we did it. What else can we do? You don't have to wait for the world to celebrate you. You don't have to wait till you die for people to give you your flowers when you can give you your flowers yourself while you're living. So if there are some things that you've been thinking about, or that you probably haven't been thinking about, but exist somewhere down inside, pull them out, resurrect them, and give yourself flowers. See, it really ties in, I feel, with self-acceptance, right? Because when you accept yourself for all that you've gone through, for all you've been through, for all that you didn't do, have done, and anything in between, when you accept yourself, you're still at this level of, I would say, understanding yourself, knowing that your past does not determine your future, knowing that your present moment is more what determines your future, and really not even looking at your future because you're so focused in the present. And you have accepted the things that you couldn't control. You have accepted the things that, you have done that maybe you didn't feel good about. You've accepted. You accept the fact that, I wasn't given the best cards in life. You accept the fact that maybe once upon a time ago, I did not celebrate me. But that doesn't mean I have to continue living like I was living. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, just because something was one type of way does not mean it has to consistently be that way. And I feel like the more that people can, let me stop. Anyways, I feel like the more that you kind of look at yourself, look at your life, what you're doing, what you're not doing, and everything in between, and find this sense of acceptance, like, this is me. This is my life. Celebrate what you can, forgive what you can, and continue pushing on. I think that that's when you get to this, like I said, to this place of understanding, but really like this, like this alignment. It's like a different type of alignment, you know? And why not bring that with you into the next year? Why not accept everything from this moment all the way to the past? Why not take the time to accept it? What didn't work, what did work, what could have been better, what should have been better, what didn't improve, what could have improved, what did improve. Look at it all and just accept it as this was once who I was. And I'm grateful for the experiences. I am thankful for the journey. But that's who I was. Right now, I have the moment, and every day that you wake up, to be honest, but right now, I have the moment to create who it is that I want to be, or to create who it is that I see myself as, right? Because I think that's what it's really all about. So be the person, or decide to be the person that's gonna celebrate your victories, even if nobody else does, because they don't even know it was a victory for you. You may let me tell you something. I live on the 3rd floor, okay? And I came back from spending Christmas with the family, and I had like extra bags, and they was heavy, okay? And plus I had my camera tripod, and it was a lot of stuff. And I said, I do not want to come all the way back down these steps to get the stuff out of the car. So I am going to take all of them at once. And it was a lot. And would it have been easier for me to just like leave 2 bags, grab 2 bags, and then come back down and grab the other 2 bags? 100%. It would have been so easy. But I knew that I didn't want to go back down them steps because I was on the 3rd floor. So what did I do? I took all those bags, walked up these steps, came in this house. Was I out of breath? Absolutely. But I was so proud of myself because I did not have to go back down there again. Somebody else may be like, girl, there's no accomplishment, but it is to me. And that's what I'm getting at. It is to me. What is important to me may not be important to you. What I am proud about when it comes to myself, you may not be proud about. But guess what? It doesn't matter, because it's about what I feel to be true about me. It's about what I feel like celebrating. I'm not causing harm to you. I'm not causing harm to me. I'm not causing harm to the next person. I am celebrating my life, and I am finding joy in me without you. You see what I mean? And so it's like, look at the little things in your life and ask yourself, what can you celebrate more of? And can you take that persona with you in 2024? Can you start celebrating your life instead of just living your life? Can you start celebrating the things that you do? Oh, you brushed your teeth this morning. There you go. Look at you. Doing better than like half the people out there. Everybody don't brush their teeth in the morning. I'm just saying. But you did. So celebrate that. Do you get what I mean? You tell me you made up your bed. You made up your bed. You better celebrate that. You know, maybe people don't make up their bed in the morning. I mean, let's talk about it. Keep it real. This is what I'm saying. What is big to you, what you deem big, what you deem important, that's okay. That's enough. It's about finding your own joy and acceptance. I accept everything that I do in my life, and I celebrate every achievement. I made it to work safely. I'm going to celebrate that. I'm safe. I came home for the evening. Work was hard, but guess what? I'm celebrating the fact that I have a job. It's all in your perspective. Life is about perspective, right? That's really what it's about. You look at your life and you can either be like, hey, I love this, or hey, I'm not a fan of this. But the beautiful thing about it is you can accept the fact that you may love or may hate something, and then you could choose to change it if you don't like the acceptance rate. I like to be an honest person. Over the year, I've gained a lot of weight. And I can say to myself, Well, I accept the fact that I'm not as small as I was. And I also accept the fact that I am as big as I am right now. It's an accomplishment. Some people can't gain weight, but look at me. I did. Hey, go figure. But I also know I can lose weight too because I've done it before. Go figure. So I say I accept both things. But because of my comfortability and what I like for myself, I prefer myself to be the latter. I prefer myself to be slimmer. I prefer myself to be my normal body size. And so what do? I make the choice, the decision to do what I need to do to get to where I want to be and where I am, right? And I celebrate that. And then when it happens, when that goal comes, I celebrate that because I made a decision. I celebrate the fact that I made the decision because making a decision in the first place is really just the first step. So I celebrate the fact that I made the decision. I celebrate myself when I go to the gym. I celebrate myself when I make a healthy food choice. Some people be looking at me like, girl, you calm down. You just eating some salad. And I'm like, but I made a healthy decision and I'm so proud of myself. And I celebrate it. And I celebrate the fact when I hit my goals. And that is my personal peace. That is my personal joy. And not you, not them, not they, not I, not whatever can take that away from you. Celebrate yourself. And accept where you are. Accept where you are. And then choose where you want to flow to. It's kind of like you can't get to the next spot, right? You can't go to the next level if you haven't beat the level that you're on. So you accept the fact that, hey, I'm on level 21. Let me go ahead and finish level 21. And then I'm going to go level 22. I know my metaphors and stuff may sound real crazy, y'all. But I'm really hoping that you're getting what I'm saying. Because, going into this next year, it is so important. It is so important for you to change. And to be honest with you, you don't even have to wait till the next year to change. I told y'all last time, it's not about who you are going to automatically just be January 1st, 2024. It is about the person that you are becoming now that is flowing into that energy with you. We don't wait till the first to implement change. We start doing it now, so when the energy switches, when the dynamic changes, who I am becoming, who I have became is what is being influenced by the new year energy. Does that make sense? So it's not like, okay, yeah, Vash, you're right. Let me wait till 2024, and as soon as I do that, I'm gonna start celebrating myself. Girl, no, sit down. You got it all wrong. Listen to it again. Start now. Start now. Acceptance, congratulatories. Hand in hand, start now. Maybe it's just the fact that you're just so grateful that you got this far in the podcast. Look at you. Big ups to you. Celebrate yourself. Do you know how short people's attention spans are? Like, be honest. But you're here. Celebrate yourself. That's an accomplishment. You did something that the majority of the world cannot do because our attention spans are so ridiculously small and short. But here you are, 20-something minutes into it, still listening. Celebrate yourself and your achievements. Buy yourself some flowers, literally or figuratively. But as we, go into the next year, as we look ahead, while still being where we are, we want to make sure it matches. I think it was like 2 episodes back ago where I was like, take inventory of your life. Look at how you feel. Is this how you want to feel? Look at what you're doing. Is this what you want to do? Look at who you speak to. Are these people you want to speak to? And if so, do more of that. Accept it. Be like, yeah, I accept it. This is what it is. And I'm going to do more of this because I love it. But if you don't, accept the fact that, hey, yeah, I am here right here. I am here right now. I do talk to these people right now. I am going through this right now. This is true. And then change it. And then celebrate yourself at the fact that you decided. That you decided to stay the same or you decided to be different. Either way it goes, it involves a little bit of joy. And you deserve joy. It's all tense in the world these days. You don't want to be walking around all tense. For what? And I know it's a challenge. I have my days too. Well, it'll be a challenge. I'll just be like, ugh. And I'm like, don't be saying, ugh. Celebrate yourself. Where you at? What you got going on? What you need to celebrate? You don't have nothing to celebrate? Okay, let's go do something and celebrate yourself. Let me tell you guys something. Side note. I told myself that something new I was gonna do for the 2024 season. Since we're talking about like celebrating ourselves, I'm gonna give myself some flowers. So one thing that I really want to step into in 2024 is getting a hobby, starting a new hobby, right? Like I love tarot cards and things like that, and I think that that was like a hobby for me, and then I made it like my job, and then like, and then I kind of, I'm still very in tune spiritually, but I didn't really want to read for people anymore, so I stopped doing it. But I was like, I want to get into like real hobbies. Like one thing that I've always wanted to do, I always had a desire to do, was paint. And not like on paper or whatever, but like on a canvas. I really just wanted to paint. I don't know what I wanted to paint. I have no idea, but I loved it. There's something about painting that I love, and I never really did it often, But I told myself that that was something that I was going to do, get into 2024, start a new hobby. Whether it's painting, whether it's crocheting, rather it's pottery, anything. I just want to start a new hobby. And so I'm so proud of myself, and this is why I'm bringing it up, because I went to my first like painting step, and it wasn't like a painting step like, hey, we're gonna do the outlines of this, and what we outline you paint in, and that's good too. I'm not knocking anybody who does that, but it was literally like the artist was at the top, and like at the top of like a stage, and then like we sat down, and she verbally went over the instructions, showed the instructions, and you just had to watch and do. Just say. And I felt so proud of myself, because not only did my picture come out looking amazing, which if you follow like my Instagram and stuff, you probably saw it, but it was so fun, and I was like, oh my god, like I really enjoyed this. I knew there was a part of me that was so big on like painting and wanting to paint, even though I never really did and never had the tools. I never bought myself the tools and materials, but that was something that I truly wanted to do for myself. I didn't want to ask somebody permission to do it. Hey, you think I should go do this or that? No, fuck that. It was about me. It was about like, what did I want? I accepted the fact that I like to paint. Let's be real about it. We talk about it all the time. But yet we have never done it. So I celebrate the fact that I chose to look for something that was not too far from where I'm living at, to be honest. Went there, made a masterpiece. That's what I call it, because it's a masterpiece in my eyes. It really is. And I enjoy that. And so I celebrate the fact that I did something new. I stepped out of my comfort zone. I took on something that I am now going to make as a hobby. And I'm grateful for it, because that is the type of person that I see myself as in 2024. I see myself as a person who goes out and does more things rather than stays inside and watch TV. Now, I was never really a big person to watch a whole lot of movies or television. When I do, it's like rom-coms or like around the holidays, because I really love like Hallmark movies. But still, like I would just be home, maybe playing a game on my like iPad or my phone, or maybe doing nothing, or whatever, or maybe playing Fortnite, because I do that too. But I was like, you know what? The person that I see myself as is a person who has she does hobbies. She does hobbies, and she romanticizes her life. She celebrates herself. She's honest with herself. She accepts what is, accepts what isn't, and still has moments of celebratories or victories, right? And so what do? The end of December, I step into that energy of that person, and I celebrate the fact that I did. Because it was great. It's great, and it kind of builds up that self-trust that we were talking about. Because I said I was going to do something, and then what did I do? I went and actually implemented it. So now I'm like looking at me like, okay, girl, I see you over here doing what you say you're gonna do. Okay, and then on top of that, I am becoming, or in this reality, the version that I see in the future reality, knowing that I need to become that now in order for me to become that then. Does that make sense, or does it just go right over your head? I don't know. I'm hoping that I kind of explained that correctly. I do. But I say all that to say that none of this would have come about, nothing at all, if I didn't have the moment to stop and reflect and be like, damn, I don't celebrate myself for shit. I have to be real. Be like, damn, I'm not even accepting. Like, I'd be like, damn, I had a fucked up childhood and da-da-da-da-da. But what is that doing for me now? What is that doing to complain about it? It hurts. It sucks. But what is that going to do for me? What is it gonna do for me and the parent that I am as for my kids now? What's it gonna do for me? It's not gonna do anything for me. It's not going to do nothing for me. So why am I going to keep dealing with it? Why am I going to keep complaining about it? Life is what you make it, literally. And if you can find a way to make it fun, if you can find a way to romanticize it, to feel proud of it, to feel like that you're in control, oh, then you're going to be fine. But I feel like that it's like the parts of people who don't necessarily feel that way, or it's the people who don't take the time out to celebrate themselves, or upset the fact that nobody else is celebrating them. But really, you just gotta have that with you, and that's all you need, you know? Like, when you step into that, you start seeing things differently. Things start flowing differently. You start really not caring. I don't even want to say you don't start caring. You start caring about other things. That's what it is. So it's not that you get to this point where you don't care, but it's like you get to this point where you start caring in a different direction. And I feel like that, you know, as long as you can understand that, as long as you realize that, you know, you are the thing that's stopping you from going to where you want to go to, from flowing to where you want to flow to, when you realize that it is you and how you conceptualize yourself and, you know, what you agree to be true about yourself and what you accept, what you don't accept, what you celebrate, what you don't celebrate, once you realize that it is you, that you are the glue that has been holding this together the entire time, and you start making that conscious decision to change, then that's when things work out differently for you. That's when things are better. That's when things make more sense. That's when you start controlling how you respond to things rather than how you react to things. You get what I'm saying? It all flows together. It's like a bigger picture. I mean, all of these podcast episodes are really just like about the bigger picture because each one ties into the other. And that's what life is. Each part of you ties into the other thing. So if you're always looking at the past, or if you're always looking at what offends you or what hurts you or makes you feel sad, and you're always looking at that, how can you even start to see anything better? How can you even start to see anything when you are clouded by just this thick, dense fog of negativity? So you gotta accept where you are in life. Accept what you have. Accept it. Because acceptance doesn't mean settling. Acceptance is understanding, fully comprehending, this is where I currently am. And I am grateful that I have the power to choose where I would like to be if this current place is not it. And then we celebrate the fact that we get to choose, because can you imagine if you had no choice? Be honest. Like, there are certain things, maybe if you're at work or whatever, where your choice is taken away. But you have the power of choice. You have the power to choose. And as long as you have the power to choose, you can never lose. And that's real. That's real. As long as you have the power to choose, you can never lose. So do what you need to do to be who you need to be now, not later. This ain't no candy. No, I'm joking. But seriously, now, not later. Because you're always going to be chasing the later. Later is never going to come because it's always going to be the now. Do you know what I mean? So make the decision now. Do what you can do now. Find it in the now. Celebrate yourself now, not later. Don't be like, okay, I'm going to do that later. Why? Why you going to wait till later for why? So you can always say later, like, come on, y'all. We don't need to make an episode about that. Like, we already know. So big yourself up because you're great. You're amazing. And you're here. You're one of those souls that made it. Do you know how many sperm fight to get to the egg to have it fertilized? Do you know how many? And guess what? That was you. You are here. Celebrate yourself. Like, celebrate yourself. You were one of the few. Not even the few, the only, depending on if you have like a twin or not. But you know, like, you're here. You're here. You're here. And we love that you're here. And you love that you're here. Deep down inside, all you gotta do is bring it outward. Let your light shine. Go into this new year. It's the 8-year, infinite possibilities. Infinite, infinite, infinite. So go and create, create the life that you aspire. Some of you guys be like, girl, you is crazy. What you talking about? You just can't do that. And that's maybe your reality, and that's okay, but I'm trying to get you to change your reality. That's what it's about. So, I mean, like, you know, be real with yourself and just see what is it. I mean, I know it's easy to slip back in old habits. It really is. And I'm not saying that I'm like this every day, because that would be a lie. But small habits over time turn into big things. And as long as I know that, that's what I'm going to be pushing for. That's what we're going to be doing. So I hope that this has helped somebody. I hope that this made you realize that you're fucking amazing and that you get everything that you deserve and require out of life. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening to this episode. And I will catch you in the new year, 2024, for the first episode of the new year. Take care. Bye. And that's a wrap for today's Neo Self-Care adventure, my fabulous friends. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey of self-love, empowerment, and all-around fabulousness. Remember, you are a force to be reckoned with, and your sparkle is unmatched. Keep slaying, keep shining, and most importantly, keep being unapologetically you. If you loved what you heard today, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share the love with your fellow goddesses. Let's spread the Neo Self-Care magic far and wide. Until next time, my darlings, remember, your strength is limitless, your beauty is boundless, and your self-love journey is ever evolving. Keep blooming, keep thriving, and keep being the phenomenal soul that you are. This is Vashti Mea, your self-care confidant, signing off. Stay fabulous, stay fierce, and always keep it Neo. Catch you on the flip side, my loves.